Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Mid-South Wrestling Review Series for the 30th of October, 1982. And we are obviously just a few months away from being done with Mid-South 1982, as it were. And I'm good with that. Been a fun journey. Hope you're enjoying it. And anyway, DiBiase and Duggan are causing more chaos week by week, and that will continue at least up to where I am at the beginning of 1983 and probably well beyond. But anyway, we move into the 30th of October, Junkyard Dog on the event, among others, and we open with a Paul Bosch promo. Where he's hyping an upcoming tag match. Basically, Bosch, a pretty big deal here. Then we see highlights of a six-man tag team match. Don't really necessarily want to cover that, mainly because it's highlighted and I hate clipped stuff. Anyway, but I'll do the best I can with that. Houston is a territory that I'd love to learn more about. I haven't seen much, if any, of their regular television. The one thing I notice in the clips here in Mid-South in 82, I don't particularly care for the lighting of the Houston areas and the arenas and the like. It's dimly lit, and so it makes me a little less comfortable following the product and the like. And so we move through a couple of things. We move through into the six-man tag team match. Of course, Bosch probably wrestles and has wrestlers for 30 years. We see Duggan come in, and he's kind of rolling around with his challengers, but they do a really kind of not so great job telling us who's here. I do see Mil Mascaris bumping around, flying forearm and the like. Archie Goldie also there. And who's who were named in the area, and a crossbody from Mascaris. Interesting that they put Mascaris on TV. Tosses over the top rope that the referee doesn't catch. Andre the Giant, also part of this particular, or runs in after the match anyway. Ted Allen and Kamala, our first actual Mid-South match here this week. And much like other Mid-South Kamala matches, nothing really of note going on here. He has not found his ideal paint. He has not found Kemshi, and said he has found Friday. And he immediately jump starts the match with his opponent for the day, and Allen gets canceled basically in this match anyway, in about 2.5 minutes. Punches, kicks, and the big splash is all that is needed. DiBiase and Matt Bourne, who's a newcomer, against Mr. Olympia and the Junkyard Dog. Obviously, Bourne, second generation guy, tough Tony Bourne, is where he's at, and obviously the Junkyard Dog is the number one, if not 1A. I guess if you wanted to say maybe Wrestling 2 is bigger than Dog right now, I don't really know, but anyhow, the heel's down on the ground in a hurry, and Matt Bourne, of course, second generation star, son of tough Tony Bourne, and he comes in, does quite well here. Some wrestling and outpowering by Junkyard Dog on DiBiase, and that seems to continue. Olympia wants to get at DiBiase as well. Bourne does come around and try to get his partner a little more relaxed. Of course, these are the Dalmatians of the Rat Pack, at least that's what I'm imagining. That comes forward in 83. I've seen bits and pieces of 83, but not 83 the whole year through. Although I'd say I'd seen more than half of 83. 84, 85 I've not seen any of, so that'll be interesting. Bourne has some difficulty with the dog, cannot get him up. He's a little disheveled as far as his hair is concerned is Bourne, so you can tell he's kind of on another planet from time to time. All four guys get in the ring. Baby faces do walk away with a bit of an advantage after that exchange, and the referee stays on as Olympia and Dog try to get submissions reasonably close and quickly where they can. Um, Obviously, the name of the game is win, and Junkyard Dog and Olympia are defending the tag team championships here against Bourne and DiBiase, so keep that in mind as well. They go months, though, without acknowledging the tag team championships, which to me is just goofy. All four guys in the ring. DiBiase bails out. I don't know if he is legal or not. He doesn't seem to care either way. Apparently not, because he's not getting back in there right away. Anyway, Bourne still there, and we see some basic punches and such by Mr. Olympia, who makes his way in with Ted DiBiase. One thing that is for sure, and that is there is quite a bit of war going on within the Rat Pack as far as who's going to do the damage. Anyway, they come off DiBiase, that is, comes off the second rope with a kind of hammer fist drop and a backbreaker. Then the Junkyard Dog comes in and breaks things up. This match going longer than average for this bunch. Bourne comes in with the bombs away. I don't know if I'd say power slam, but bombs away, top rope splash type thing. DiBiase comes back in with a power slam on Mr. Olympia, and eventually he gets what looked to me to be a visual victory, and but the match continues, so it must not have been. Junkyard Dog goes at both men on his own, as Olympia mentioned, just has been power slammed by the Junkyard Dog, and he may not be able to fight intelligently. Dog pulls DiBiase back in. Remember, Dog has had various success with guys throughout the area, and Bourne coming in via the top rope. Dog manages to catch him, so again, this is a much more competitive match than we've seen in several months here on Mid-South, and it shows through. Someone sneaks in, jumps the Dog from behind, and I don't think that individual wants to be known, discovered, found out, whatever have you. That is there. Duggan back in, though, and he's not worried about any of this stuff. He continues the match, and it is... I'm sorry, not Duggan, Bourne, but DiBiase is the one that gets the pin cover, and they are the new tag team champions. Bourne and DiBiase, oddly enough, tag team champions. I keep saying Duggan because that's who he's been teaming with, but that is an incorrect statement. Grappler 2 versus Tony Atlas up next. And certainly this is a clash of styles. Grappler 2, to my knowledge, almost always the same guy. Tony Anthony is that for a while. Anyway, big power dominance by Tony Atlas, and kind of gets himself out of a wrist lock, does Atlas, and the ability to hook a full Nelson is incredibly difficult on a guy with Atlas's ability, and that's what this individual finds out the hard way. And then we see Tony kind of going a little bit, I wouldn't say terribly aggressive, but he's in there and he's tackling and he's going, and big drop kick under the chin by Tony Atlas Head scissors takeover by the big man, which is a rather rare, although be it move that I'd seen him use before. He continues with the double axe handle. Of course, he's been to Mid-South a couple of times before, and just this is the true Tony Atlas, and he's thriving here. Military press slam, and obviously worth enjoying until he decides to leave the area in, I don't know, maybe a year, maybe two. But that goes along. Military press leads to the victory. DiBiase, Duggan, and Bourne are gloating about being the tag team champions. Before we get there, though, and I mean that's all there is to that interview. Gino Hernandez against Jesse Barr. That's another advantage too. Working with Houston is the formation with Hernandez, and maybe if he hadn't been, considered so, I guess I'd say sick and having addictions, Gino Hernandez might have been a much bigger star into the 80s and early, or through the 80s and into the 90s and all of that. Of course, Gino passing away as a member of the World Class Territory. More information in our World Class series if you're interested in hearing about that. Obviously, Gino comes out ahead in this contest, and it's not a regular run, but Hernandez gets the victory there. As mentioned, champions brag and basically insinuate they're taking over. Marty Lundy defeated is going against Mr. Wrestling 2. Marty Lundy, later Arn Anderson. No shame for Anderson in this match as he manages to take his opponent to whatever limit he can handle, and that is challenging. Mr. Wrestling 2 seems to be kind of keeping things locked up in a somewhat meaningful way, and going for the armbar early by Lundy. Maybe not the best of moves, but if no one told him, hey, that's just the way it goes. Anyway, Lundy managing to hold his own and hold the top wrist lock for a while. He shoots in, grabs a hold, and then eventually, not too terribly long later, Wrestling 2 has managed to come out the back door in a hurry, so to speak. And then a couple of clotheslines and a knee lift, and a win for Mr. Wrestling 2. Yoshiatsu and Hiro Matsuda versus Romano and Tim Horner. That will close the program. They only have about 4 minutes left, and they don't even need all of that. The Japanese contingent manages to hold their own, showing that an international trade agreement is worthwhile with Japanese promotions if they're interested in staying hooked up with Mid-South. Then we see a couple of shots to the midsection, and then working over the leg of Horner. Horner manages to try to keep up, but has some difficulty with the foreign heels, cutting them off. We go to the end of the program without a clear winner, so we will be back with more right after this.